if you haven't noticed, Bitcoin is at all-time high or around all-time high. This is where we're at right now. If we do eventually break up to 80K, back down to wherever the min line of this 50-day channel was, what was it? Like 67? No. Can't be 67. Like 68? Yeah, 67, 68, something like that. And we keep going. The next major target is 150K. You're in what we call price discovery. There is nothing, no precedent, right, to offer any resistance between where we're at now and the next major resistance. Hello everyone, my name's Dean, let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for almost daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is April 23rd, 2024. And some of you may notice that I've been a bit more regular with my updates as of late. There's a very good reason for that, right? And the idea behind this update is that you, my friend, are not bullish enough. You're not bullish enough, and I'm going to tell you why that is. If that sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Hope everyone's having a great day. Let's get started with Bitcoin as per usual. All right, what are we looking at here on the small hour or on the small time frame? So on the hourly time frame, as I've been saying for some days now, we have channeled into a mini Wyckoff accumulation. Okay, this is about a 9 to 10 day channel where you bottomed and you go sideways. Okay, I was talking about this as soon as this happened. I was like, this is going to happen, this is likely to happen. This is exactly what happened. We held the channel. The main support was 60K, right? And we went sideways, up and down within the confines of this channel. And now what we're doing is we are consolidating at the top of the channel for a breakout, okay? And this is textbook. What do I mean by that? All right, I talked about a mini Wyckoff accumulation pattern. If you are not familiar with Wyckoff accumulation, this is essentially a schematic that you can refer to. Obviously, this is not the entirety of Wyckoff's theory. If you're interested, if you're trading, if you're speculating, right, and reading these charts, I really encourage you to read more about Wyckoff and more about his trading theses, right? And this is basically the schematic of the accumulation pattern that I was talking about, or one flavor of it. And what I want to draw your attention to is right here, the SOS, the sign of strength. Basically what you get is a strong accumulation towards the resistance of the channel. You can see this both in the Wyckoff accumulation 1 and 2 schematic. Essentially it's the same thing, you're just talking about different flavors of this accumulation schematic, but in each and every version you can see this SOS sign of strength, essentially a consolidation at resistance. And you can see here he has it in a bull flag. So basically you get a bull flag at resistance in phase D of the Wyckoff accumulation schematic, right? Similarly, what do you see in Bitcoin's price action on the hourly time frame? You see that rising wedge that I referred to this morning on Twitter and on Buy Me a Coffee. You have that rising wedge looking to break resistance of this channel, right? And why am I saying you're not bullish enough? Because this is the beginning of a major move, not just in Bitcoin, but in altcoins. I'm going to talk about altcoins in a second. Do not worry. All right, where do I see this going? To answer that question, let's go to my other Bitcoin chart and let's flip to a higher time frame. Let's go on the 4-hourly time frame. So essentially I see us targeting 80,000 US dollars for the next target. Why? Okay. As I've said, we have a channel within a channel. I mean, this is why people can trade using Wyckoff alone, because everything, all accumulation, all distribution happens in a channel. The question is, can you read it? Can you suss it out? Can you figure out what the channel is, right? And then, if you can get a good idea as to what the price is likely to do. Okay, and personally, I really appreciate Wyckoff theory, but I'm an Elliotician first and foremost. I really pride myself on my Elliott wave, and this is what I use more often than not. But at the end of the day, when I'm trading, when I'm doing analysis, I'm not really thinking, oh, I have to use Elliott, I have to use Wyckoff. No, I just use whatever I see. So I'm not thinking I have to use this and that, but I see myself using Wyckoff a lot, especially, going from a bear market to a bull market makes sense because we're coming out of accumulation patterns, and that's what I'm reading, and so I'm going to make use of my knowledge of Wyckoff. In any case, on the 4-hourly time frame, you can see this channel for this 50-odd day accumulation, larger accumulation, right? And then the smaller channel that I just showed you on the hourly time frame is this that broke out, right? So this is the rising wedge, right? And then retest, breakout. This is the breakout. What's the target? What's the next major resistance? The next major resistance for this is the top of the channel. But what you're likely to see is are breaking the top of the channel to show strength. I talked about this maybe 2 episodes ago. So in a bullish trend, in a bearish trend, you're going to show strength or you're going to show weakness, right? Respectively. So in a bullish trend, you're going to show strength, which means you're going to impulsively mark up and break the next logical resistance, which is the top of this channel. And then your next resistance should be somewhere up here, because you still have to do what? Retest the midline of the channel. And I've talked about this before as well. Channels trade in such a way that before leaving them, the midline is retested. Few people understand this, okay? And so 80K is an ideal target if you take your Fibonacci retracement tool from the bottom here, which is, where we've been pretty much where we started this impulse down here, okay, to around 80K, because if you go from here and you retrace the maximal amount, you get around 80K, and then you come back to this 0618, which is also coincident with the midline of this channel. So I could see us going to 80, 81K thereabouts, maximally in this move that we're in right now, okay? And so that's what I see Bitcoin doing. That's why I see it doing that. So from here, we're talking about a 20% move, which is nothing to sneeze at. Meanwhile, and this is particularly why you're not bullish enough, because, okay, let's say Bitcoin goes to 80K, all-time high, awesome. But 20%, you're not retiring off of 20%, off of a 20% move. At least most of us aren't. Why you're not bullish enough is the fact that as Bitcoin does this move, makes this move, breaks out of a 9-day channel, and subsequently breaks out of a 50-day channel, or makes the first move to break out of the 50-day channel, altcoins are doing even more. Altcoins are going to be even more bullish, okay? And I want to show you something I haven't shown you on this channel. I don't think I've shown you on this channel. So when I first started trading crypto in 2016, 2017, I can't remember, to buy altcoins, I had to buy Bitcoin first, sell Bitcoin, and then buy altcoins with them. And so when I first heard about reading charts, I was reading BTC charts, altcoin BTC charts, because there were no stable coins like USDC, USDT, none of that existed when I first started trading crypto, right? Now, I mention that because one way to see just why most people are not bullish enough is to just have a gander at these altcoin BTC charts. And we're just going to go down the line really quickly. The purpose of this exercise is not necessarily to use this to trade. I'm not a big fan of using BTC charts to trade because I'm not buying sats and selling sats and thinking in sats. And these charts don't have a lot of data for you to be really precise if you were to do intraday trading or whatever. In any case, I digress. The high time frame chart really shows you what's going on, okay? And for the longest time on this channel, we looked at the US DXY, we looked at Bitcoin dominance. We have looked at the DXY, but I wanted to refer to Bitcoin dominance. And Bitcoin dominance chart shows you what altcoins are doing against Bitcoin and vice versa. But these charts show you what specific altcoins are doing against Bitcoin. And this specific altcoin, let's start with Balancer, has been losing against Bitcoin since 2021, pretty much nonstop, as you can see. Down impulsively, okay, up correctively, back down, okay? So the idea is you are at you can't go any lower. You cannot go any lower. 1, 2, you're buying the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. So any investment made in this asset against Bitcoin is literally buying the bottom. And you have probably been underwater if you have been invested in this because of what this chart is showing, okay? And what you're likely to see, the last thing I want to say is what you're likely to see is a flat correction play out, at least in this region, okay? So that's Balancer Bitcoin, but I just want to draw your attention to, what this means for your bullishness, or what this should mean for your bullishness. If you read charts, if you understand charts, if this makes sense to you, you're really bullish on this. Also, if you believe in Balancer as a project. Similarly, Hook. This is the same idea. Ever since 2023 in this case, or 2022, late 2022, you've literally been down against Bitcoin. It's been straight down. Except recently you've started to bounce. Okay, now the question is, are you going to bounce? But if you do, what does it look like? Looks like, again, you're going to put in a flat correction. So it's going to be gains on gains on gains against Bitcoin in this asset. That, again, is if you believe in the asset to maintain its integrity throughout the bull run. Okay? But this is the idea. This is how I like to use these alt BTC charts. Lit entry. This is a very nice one. And again, same thing. Went up, down, and now you're double bottoming against Bitcoin, and you're likely to put in this W reversal, meaning that if this does play out for a few weeks, for many weeks, pretty much without stop, this should catch up its losses against Bitcoin. The idea is you're buying the bottom in most of these altcoins. I'm just going to show you those 3, and you can keep going. Just look at your altcoin against Bitcoin, and you should see the chart on high time frame. Look at the pattern. It's likely they've bottomed out, okay? And that you're buying the absolute bottom if you were to get exposure at this point in time. Why are you not bullish enough just on Bitcoin, period? Well, glad you asked. If you haven't noticed, Bitcoin is at all-time high, or around all-time high. This is where we're at right now. If we do eventually break up to 80K, back down to wherever the min line of this 50-day channel was, what was it? Like 67? No. Can't be 67. Like 68? Yeah, 67, 68, something like that. And we keep going. The next major target is 150K. You're in what we call price discovery. There is nothing, no precedent, right, to offer any resistance between where we're at now and the next major resistance. This is why you're not bullish enough. A lot of people aren't bullish enough. A lot of people are scared. A lot of people don't like what they're seeing on the small time frames because we haven't yet teleported. A lot of people are completely out on altcoins, and understandably so. I showed you those altcoin BTC charts for those small market cap altcoins. I mean, they're just horrible, and if you've been holding for all that time, it stands to reason why you would be so discouraged. But that's why you're not bullish enough. Put your feelings to the side, look at the charts, look at the data, make sense of what you're looking at, and understand what is likely to come next. Guys, that's all I have. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. Like, share, and subscribe. Consider buying me a coffee at the pinned comment below, and I'll see you next time. Take care.